Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship season finale here at the Brands Hatch Circuit. I'm your host and commentator for today's race, SLM_RRTZ, and once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for Mazdas, and it is time for the season finale. We have 2 more races to go, 1 hour of racing left on the clock to go, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by my fellow compadre, SDM Viper, at the commentator's box here today. Now, Viper, of course, we have noted this battle, this championship for quite a while, and it's coming down to the final few stages, and I think it's going to get very, very heated up here today. What do you think about it?
Well, yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting battle here between our sorry, I can't talk today. Had a little too much fun last night, and you know, just dealing with the hunger things right now. So, but we're going to continue on with the commentary broadcast with Deco touching on the grass a little bit there, coming out of the second hatch.
Yeah, and so we've got a lot to talk about for the championship standings here. It's actually quite an interesting bout. James Head, the one who actually swept the weekend, that actually was just, James Head was actually given a penalty for intentionally brake checking a fellow competitor, so he's lost that win, and that means that was given Elliott, F64, another win right there as well. So he's now in the championship hunt. So now it's James Head who's leading the championship. You can see him right there. He's with 363 points right now in the standings, and only 14 points behind him is the man in second place. That is SLM Polymer in the championship as well. But don't count out the man in third place, Elliott F64, who is a further 12 points behind SLM Polymer as well, but not out of the championship because Elliott is still within the championship, but that means he's got to have to at least beat James Head and Palmer, and he has to win a race as well because Elliott has got a lot of pressure on himself to get a race win. And if he sweeps the weekend, he has a really good chance here of potentially taking home that first place championship.
There's always that certain clause that even though you're a couple points behind the points leader, like Elliott and Palmer, there's always the one pressure point that's sitting in James Head's mind. It's where he's leading the championship, but there's always that back pressure in your mind that's saying, I gotta hold on to this. You gotta hope for the best, and you know, as he's just set the fastest lap of the track here, 1:39.256, and he's been showing all season long that he's definitely worthy of this championship here. We're gonna see if he's true to the task here tonight and see who takes home that MX5 championship.
Yeah, we've got a couple more championship notes here, courtesy of Polymer, who does, of course, our point standings in the GT3 and MX5 Cup Championships. Of course, penalties given to James Head, and meaning that Elliott takes his 5th win of the season. TGI is taking his 4th podium of the season, and Harris is taking his 6th podium of the season. Ryra, who is in this race, is demoted to 9th after a penalty after he forced Polymer wide. Barr takes home 7th, and Polymer finishing 8th. Rounds 23 and 24 finishing the last 2 rounds of the season. Our top 3 are just separated by 26 points, meaning anything is up for grabs. Also, for 5th place in the championship, we have TGIS and Doug Barrow, who are really fighting it out between those two, and they're only separated by 1 point between those two for 5th in the standings.
Yeah, we're going to get started here with qualifying here as we speak right now here. So we're going to really see these drivers really try to make that last gasp of air.
Ryra is sporting a new livery here, his typical usual livery, and on the 270 Mazda. But that means the final qualifying session is starting now. 10 minutes on the clock here to set a representative lap time here and determine your final qualifying spot for round number 23 of the MX5 Cup Championship here at Brands Hatch. 10 entries here to start it all out, and it's going to be very, very dicey here once this all gets settled and done, of course.
Yeah, it's interesting to note that James Head and Palmer, they're all, they're not up in the front. They're all in the back of the pack to try to get that little extra gap and go a little faster than the guy in first, which is Ryron. But this train here with the Mazda's here. And he's just going to let James Head go on by. So James Head now going to be leading this train here today as we continue on with coverage of qualifying here. Hair Razor going on the I'm going to probably let Hair Razor sitting in second place right now as Elliott in third place now in this qualifying run. And this train here coming up through a couple of last final corners. Oh, Hair Razor sticks on the grass a little bit, and it looks like he is going to possibly no, Elliott's kind of penalty so as well, and so does Bar 27 in that Mazda as well. So now we're going to get underway with qualifying here officially coming up towards the pit entrance. And last pit entrance coming on the front stretch right now. They're going to take their first lap here in qualifying here, so we're going to see what these drivers here can do.
Sorry about that. So if you hear a bit of clicking, of course I do have my Razer keyboard. I don't have my usual keyboard with me, so we're going to go with what we've got.
Our disclosure, of course.
There is Hair Razor, who has a comfortable fourth place in the standings. He's been one of the most consistent drivers in this series. He hasn't been up front for the most part, but he's been well consistent, and he's landed a comfortable fourth place in the standings. But unfortunately, he is well out of the championship, of course.
Yeah, Hair Razor pretty notable, and he looks like he's going to possibly take fourth place. He has a screw coming right here, but as always, first priority of the race, of course, will be the top three of the championship with Palmer, Elliott, and James Head. Those three have been just super strong all season long here. And we're going to see who can be the top dog here as well.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh. My bad. So there is Elliott F64 in the 64 Mazda MX5 Cup car. And where is Palmer, by the way? We don't think we really had a chance to see him, as he's really in the championship as well. So, yeah, there is Palmer right there.
He's at the back.
So he's well at the back of the grid. He's trying to let this pan out and see what happens. As a matter of fact, it is the birthday boy here for the Straight Line Motorsports League. And so we wish happy birthday to SLM Palmer, who turns 15 years old today. And he'll be and would he love it to win a championship here today, as well as a great birthday gift. So we'll go back up to the front of the field now, where times are starting to be laid. James Head's going to lead them off for the first flying lap. It's going to be a 1:49.3 to start it all off. It's going to be Ryra in second place, but Elliott going much in third. Doug Barrow still in fourth. Times are getting a bit slower. Bar fifth. Gallo Glass in fourth. TGIS in fifth. So Doug Barrow going down the order. Palmer now goes up to pole position. So that's a huge time for Palmer to stay ahead of his championship rival, and he's going to need all of the support that he can get, because he's only 12 points behind the number 7 of James Head, because he's really going to need all the points and positions that he can get here today, as well as the situation for Elliott, because he's only in 4th place at the moment.
I'm sorry, who are we talking about? I just lost track.
We were talking about Elliott, who's on a purple sector here. Let's take a look at times here real quickly as we speak. So purple sectors, all for Elliott so far on a purple sector 2 for the team. What, there are 5 sectors here? What the hell? Hang on. There's 5 sectors. Wait, 1, 2.
5. Yeah.
Oh, 3, 4. Oh, I forgot about that one straightaway. I thought there was 4 sectors here. I thought there was 4 sectors here the whole time.
There's one after turn 2, one after turn 4, straightaway before turn 5, then just before, just before. Yeah, possibly turn 8.
Yeah, I can see 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, so there's about 5 seconds. I thought there was always 4, so that's why I kind of got it. Oh, James has had a penalty to serve, so he's going to abandon this lap, and he's going to get himself ready for another one. So let's see here, where is Palmer, following the 87 of Gallo Glass, and then McGee's, who rounds out the grid. Ryra in third. James is actually going to pit for tires and fuel for tires. So he's going to try and move up the grid a little bit. Elliott moves up into second, but is only 48 thousandths behind.
Palmer's improved.
Palmer's improved, and he's put that Mazda well ahead of his championship rivals. 4/10 is the gap. What a gap that was for Palmer, 48.8. So I think he's found a lot of slipstream here with one of the cars, and it's really put him up there, as a matter of fact.
This guy is just, he's using every inch of track space that he could find on this track here. As I said, as our Zed said, this young man, just 15 years of age, and just quite an impressive young talent here in the world of sports cars, these Mazdas. He's really showing that he's going to develop. He's really turning that Mazda, and it's just everything he's throwing at it.
So James Head now in third, who's just taken some new rubber. I'm not sure if it's going to make that much of a difference, but with 3 minutes to go in this session, you never really know, because these laps about 2 minutes.
By the time he's going to get to the finish line, he's going to be 1 minute left on the clock.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That'll be his final lap.
So we'll see what happens here for James Head's qualifying session, because he is third. He's not that far off of second place, but he's got to make a sizable amount of time back up to get that pole position. Oh, someone's gone around. Who is that that's gone around? Who is that that's gone around? That is bar 27. He's hit the wall a little bit, so he might have had a bit of contact somewhere. Would be probably wise. Yeah, he's going to let the field on by, I think. Yep, he's going to let them on by. So let's take a look back up to the front of the field, where it is Ryra, who is really holding up Elliott. F64 for a championship charge here. Ryra is not going to really hold up Elliott. I think Ryra is now going to get a bit of sideways over for Elliott. We'll see if we can get a look at that one real quickly as well. Coming in side by side. And let's see here.
Ooh. Just a tad on the gravel trap.
Tad on the gravel trap, yeah. So absolutely close there for Elliott. Oh, and he's gone on the grass.
Oh, where?
What has happened there?
Oh, is Robert giving him a little trouble?
Let's see here. Let's see if there was a bit of contact between the two.
Just took a little too much.
Yeah, he just took a bit too much. Yep. So a bit too much on the corner. I think that's going to hamper his qualifying. Yep, he's going slow. I think he knows that this qualifying, if he could try and make it around for one more lap, he could do it one more time. But if not, I think he's just going to take second place for the time being.
It's going to be very close, to be honest.
There is SLM Palmer, but he's not that far off behind. Where is James Head is the question. He's on a green sector one.
Purple sector.
Purple sector. So he's 2/10 up at the moment. And if he can keep up with this slipstream right here, he has a really good shot at taking that all-important pole position, which at this stage in the championship is absolutely crucial. So James Head will stick on board with him for the remainder of this section if we can. So he's gonna have to let off. Bart's gonna be in the way. So.
Oh, he's getting ready.
Yep, he's going to try and get a clean lap. So, not particularly the... Yep.
Elliott, too's
yeah, Elliott. Oh, this qualifying is going to get really spicy indeed. Ryra is not going to improve. Doug Barrow, no improvement either. So, final laps now for a lot of these guys who can get that important final pole position. Oh, Doug Barrow's gone wide. That's going to probably hamper his position. Air Razor goes up into P8. And final laps now. 15-ish seconds to go for qualifying.
It looks like they went up in the ground.
Yeah, it looks like it. There is James Head. Where is Elliott? He's just ahead of Bar. And it's going to hamper his qualifying section.
He's done. He's done. Bar 27 just cost him big.
Yeah, I think Elliott was just getting his nose a bit too dirty in the wrong places. Yep, he's got the flashes on. Yep, his day's done.
Unfortunately, that's not going to
that's going to be day over for him.
Let the man, the third, James Head, die.
So really the only major qualifying contender that we really have for a potential pole position snag will be James Head. Qualifying will come to a close. And so this qualifying, like I said, about to come to a close. I think, as a matter of fact, I think I know what Elliott's doing. If he can try and distract James Head from improving on his time, he could get one position up. He's not that far behind, but let's see what sector times look like. No improvements for the most part. Palmer's had a best sector 3 so far. So we'll go to him. He's in sector 4 now. And so he's not that far behind on his best lap. We'll go back up to Ryra, who is the first of many to come for the conclusion of the final qualifying session of the season. He's going to take a most tightest line that he can get. Will it be an improvement this time by? No, by 82 thousandths. Doug Barrow, no improvement either. Palmer on the other hand, will it be an improvement? No, by 65 thousandths of a second. These are incredibly close times.
Here comes James Head.
James Head now. Get the slipstream. Hair Razor moves up into 5th, but is it an improvement? Yes, it is by 2 thousandths of a second.
God. Oh my God.
What a pulpit. What an improvement for James Head.
Unbelievable. Oh, that was incredible.
Oh my goodness, you cannot make this up. In what is probably the most important qualifying of the session, James Head just snagged it by 2 thousandths of a second, and that, ladies and gentlemen, I think is the closest qualifying result for pole position in straight line motorsports history right
Look
there.
at that.
2 thousandths of a second between the top two.
Oh, that's going to make the
This is going to be a very dicey set of races here, ladies and gentlemen.
I agree with you, but we're going to look forward now, and we're going to conclude the final first race.
James Head on pole position by 2 thousandths of a second over Palmer. Elliott and Ryrod make up the second grid. Hairbrazer and TGI's 5th and 6th. Duckbear and Caligas, then the Bar 27 and McGee's 4R10. Mazda's here, set to duke it out here today. When will the lights go out? And they're on the red, and now they are off. And so it is green flag conditions here. A very slow start as usual. Palmer and everyone's going to form up into the train. James Head's going to be the conductor of all of this.
Palmer's not going to give him any space.
Yeah, he's not going to give him any space. He's going to be right up this chuff.
Oh, so tight.
Oh, this is going to be absolutely dicey here. James Head defending onto the inside for turn
Palmer's
number 2. Palmer's already going to try it on the outside. What can he do to hold it off? Palmer goes a bit too wide. Elliott behind him, and Ryra as well as the two Costa Mazdas of Harriser and Duck Barrow. And so Palmer, this is going to be all so close indeed for the most part. Oh, I don't know why it does that. So it just wants to just kind of flicker back and forth like that. So keep an eye out for this. Palmer now with a potential look to the outside. Oh, you just have to flick it. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
So you got to run. He's going to try and go the long way if he can.
He's going to try and run it on the outside if he can, but nothing doing there as
we try to switch back.
Oh, it might have forced James Head a bit too wide, but I don't think that's going to force James Head offline for the most part. And so now Palmer just has to stay in close contention. Ryra, as a matter of fact, has gained a position on Elliott. Where is Elliott? He's going way too far back.
Oh man, this is not good.
Oh, was he just forced a bit too wide there? I think it might have, because I think he might have had a bit of contact with Ryra. Oh, very slow out of that one turn.
Yeah, he lost a lot.
Yeah, he lost a ton of time there, so he's already down to 5th place. We'll go back up to the front of the field now, where it is still James Head who leads after lap number 1. Kit Palmer still in close contention behind. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be oh so close indeed. So now Palmer just still on the back foot. Palmer's doing everything right in the textbook so far. Nothing too major to see and to report.
These two have been rivals all season long, and it's going to come down to the wire here today. We're going to see a very interesting battle between these two young talents right here, making their way up through the ranks here.
And I'll tell you what, folks, I think if these two get on the podium, I think it's going to be words shared between one another, because it's going to be an absolutely juicy finale to this season. You cannot ask for anything much more closer than a tight qualifying session between these two drivers.
They're very tight.
Oh, James Head gets a bit on the gravel trap, so I think that might slow him down just a tad. but nothing too severe for the most part. So it's still very tight indeed between these top two drivers.
Ryra's possibly catching too, just ever so slightly, because he's kind of narrowing that gap down himself as well.
Yeah, Ryra's kind of flown under the radar for the most part in these last couple of races, but with a solid P4 qualifying start and getting one position as well. And he's looking pretty strong at the moment indeed. Doug Barrow, as a matter of fact, getting another position as well. I think he's gained a couple of positions off the line as well, I'm pretty sure, after starting in 6th place for the most part. Oh, James Head going a bit wide. Is there a little scare between that driver right there? Oh, very big moment for James Head as he's just kept that Mazda MX5 Cup car right under control. That could have been a lot worse right there.
Yeah, very impressive save there by that young good driver right there. But we're only just getting started here in this first race here. We got one more race to go. That would really decide the champion. And Ryra's all over the back bumper of Palmer now. He's climbed up into this fight.
Yeah, Ryrock can have a huge, massive effect between these top two drivers here who are in championship contention, but Ryrock could spill the money. Heck, Ryrock's not even contending for a championship. As a matter of fact, Ryrock's going to force one on the inside of Palmer. Palmer's going to try and force it up the outside. These two are still side by side for turn number 3, and Palmer gets that position back just as easily.
Palmer knows that every position counts here, so he's got to fend off Ryra at the same time. I'll try to get up there to James Head and see if he can try to get that championship points gap.
Elliott now gets back up into 4th place, but he has to know that he cannot lose to James Head because he is only 26 points out from the championship. And he has to know that if he can get up to James Head and actually get back into the fight for the championship, he still has a mathematical chance. But if he loses to James Head here, based on the fact that James Head would get more points, Elliott's out of the championship.
So he's got to really fight hard to keep himself alive in this first race and get himself a good result. If not, he's out of the championship equation. So Doug Barrow now going to try to look.
Still, Doug Barrow absolutely on it here today. He's right up against his back bumper as a matter of fact as well. He's really pushing it. Ooh, Elliott with a little corner cut right there as a matter of fact.
Penalty. Yep.
Oh, that's going to be a penalty right there.
Here comes Doug.
Look. I think Doug almost just tried to the inside, but I think he had to back out of that one on the fact that he almost got his nose chopped off right there.
TGIS to go sideways with
TGIS might clear him. Actually, Doug, no, he's going to still try and fight it out
the outside, side by side.
I saw someone up front with a penalty, and it is James Head who's got a penalty.
Oh, man.
And he is going to wisely serve it on the front stretch.
That's going back up for Palmer now. He's going to Palmer to the inside.
Palmer to the inside for the race lead.
Side by side.
Side by side. Oh, James, I think Palmer got it caught the grass a little bit, and James Head's still on the inside. Ryra, he doesn't even care about this championship. He just wants a race win here today.
Absolutely, indeed. That driver has nothing to lose right here, so we can push the car a little bit more here in today's race. But guess what? We've got one more race here, so he can actually go ahead and win race 2 as well on top of this first race, because he's been super strong in that 270 Mazda.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, too, these two, James are having to serve that penalty in Palmer. If those top 3 guys can still fight it out, Ellen has a really good chance here of really getting back into this race. Oh, a bit too much onto the gravel. That's something you don't want if you are Elliott.
TGI's now up into 5th place.
Oh, he's just caught the curving a bit too much, and it's going to force him a bit too wide. Didn't lose that too much time going on to the gravel trap. So Elliott still not that far behind, only 1.6 seconds off from James Head, but he's still within close mathematical potential, but he does still have that 4-tenth penalty to serve.
Oh, Doug Barrow.
Doug Barrow with a 5-tenth penalty. What's happened to him? He's dropped all the way back down to P7.
Two customers.
Oh, he's going to force his teammate.
Oh, my goodness. Not the teammate. He's going to have...
Not the teammate.
He's got a half-second penalty. Well, now they're going to go side-by-side to a corner where you don't want to go too wide.
And Palmer's taking the race lead.
Oh, where did... Ooh.
And Palmer with the race lead, so he might have caught James Head a bit napping. See if we can find anything on that. No, he's well beyond in the race lead, so nothing doing there as of yet. Elliott still within the championship hunt. Looking back to James Head now. Elliott with now a 1 second penalty. So what's happened to Elliott now for the most part?
He's trying to find as much track space that he can get to try to get back up there, but he's really struggling.
Oh, James Head with the run of a lifetime.
Side by side, turn 1. Here we go. James Head's going to try around the wrap on the inside.
Oh, can he try on the outside? Palmer's going to try and still
very
force
tight.
on the inside. On the inside.
Barely the lead. Now he's going to set
And
for the inside.
outside move.
Wow.
What a move by James Head.
Wow, that driver. He's pushing all the dice right now.
I don't think Palmer was completely expecting that. Around the outside of turn number 2.
That's an incredible move right there. Now Ryra's over the back.
Oh, Ryra. Oh.
Look how Elliott's got himself back in this fight now.
You can tell that these top 2 guys are having a lot of pressure between each other right now, and it's allowed these third and fourth place cars to just really close up now. And this is going to be the absolute finale that everyone's going to want to see. Who's going to top it all off for round number 22. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have another race to go after this. So even though there is another race to go, the season is not over just yet with just this race to go. We still have one more 30-minute race to go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we're only just getting started here. And this 4-car train, we're going to keep a close eye on it as well, because this fight is getting juicy as ever.
Yeah, very dicey stuff for the top 4 now. I think Elliott now can start to just take it easy now for the most part, because he is back with this field. He can slow up just a tad bit and can serve some of that penalty if he wants to. Because I feel like Elliott, if he keeps up with these 2 guys, he's gonna still lose time and not serve that penalty at the same time. So I think if I were Elliott, I would back off a little bit and just serve that penalty and hope that the top 3 guys will hold each other off for the most part.
Yeah, I apologize for my coughing there just a brief moment ago. But here, everyone going a little bit wide on the entry, trying to get all the possible speed coming out of the first corner that they can right now. Oh, Elliott
trying to force it up to the inside of Ryra, but nothing doing there as of yet. He's going to slowly serve a bit of his penalty, which is the right thing to do, obviously. Still remain close, but at the same time, slowly serve that penalty if it makes you want to cut a corner. Because right now, I don't think corner cutting is going to make it any better for F64.
Absolutely not. We've seen this time and time again. Corner cutting does not get you anywhere. It does not give you an advantage. It just slows you down. You get all the way down, and you got to still serve that time penalty.
Yeah, now while this is going on, and this is allowing TGIS slowly but surely just to get back up into the race here. So TGIS, I wouldn't count him out entirely, even though the fact that he's 3.3 seconds back, he is slowly making his way back up to the fact that these guys are battling it out for the overall race.
So now it's like this 4-car battle is split into 2 and 2 at the moment. Palmer really
aggressive. For the most part,
he's really trying to distract James Head.
Yeah, if you're in a championship like this, there is no other way to go but besides just being aggressive. You have to absolutely be on it here, and you just cannot take it lightly. You have to play it aggressive here today, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere close into the championship.
It's like James Head just said, fastest sector 4 at the moment.
So he's really on it here today. It's going to be really a case of who's going to make the move and find a mistake out of any of these 4 drivers to get everything up on the other guys. So we'll wait and see, but of course we're going to find out, see who makes that more all-important mistake. And of course the commentator's curse, of course.
Commentator's curse. And
Elliott now with the fast lap.
He's got that triple toe now, so he can get a lot of that speed.
Yeah, and he's just really remaining close here. This is absolutely fine stuff to watch here. Oh, is he going to get to the inside of Ryra? We'll take a look at that. Oh, he might have forced the 270 a bit wide, as a matter of fact. So
we're going to go back and look at this one. Right
we'll
here.
take a look at that from Elliott's point of view. Did he force the 270 a bit wide, and was there contact between the two? The door was a bit open, so I don't blame him.
Yep.
Oh, yep, he's forced him a bit wide, so that might be under investigation as well. As a matter of fact, he's just given the position back.
So I think we're going to foul at this rate.
Take a look at that. Yeah, I think he's just giving the position back, because I think he knew he was at fault for that. So good sportsmanship for Elliott, but at the same time, these two are just a slight tad back away, just 1.2 seconds back from the top 2. Oh, James Head just almost ran Palmer out of the road right there.
Oh, these guys are just pushing the limits out of these cars, and I love it.
Palmer now completely all over the back bumper of this well-experienced brand. Oh, James Head with a giant scare. I think he got it on the curving, and if not, the gravel just a slight tad. Ooh, that might have slowed up Palmer just a tad bit.
He's on a fast lap, though.
He is on a fast lap, and he's just starting to get back up a little ways to James Head.
I'm going to build those revs up in those cars. That's why their redlining so incredibly long and hard. Palmer, he's pushing everything in that car right now.
He is really pushing the absolute bejesus out of that car for the most part. Elliott's now got that penalty down to 7/10 of a second, so he is working that down just a slight tad. But with only 17 minutes to go, he's going to have to start thinking about really cutting back on that penalty for the most part if he wants any chance of getting a good solid result here today. Elliott's going to one bit wide to the gravel trap.
Oh man, that's the cost right there. Pushing too hard.
I don't think he's lost that much time, to be honest with you.
He's lost a little bit.
Yeah, he's lost a little bit, but it's allowed Ryrod to completely close back up for the most part.
And now Ryrod, like we said earlier, he's got nothing to lose, so he could just, just absolutely
yeah, while this battle's going on, we'll take a moment back at the rest of the field. There is TGIS 78, who's 4.2 seconds, so I think he's lost a bit of time to the leaders up front, but he's holding that fifth place up considerably well. His Doug Barrow is up into 6th place, so he's lost a bit of positions from his race start after going up in the peak early on in the race. Hairraiser in 7th place, who is defending off from, oh my god, Jesus, who is fending off from bar 27 at the moment. Galaglass in 9th place, who's making another race start here today. And then the who is in 10th place, well out of the running, unfortunately, but of course he's just trying to get used to running in the SLM.
Possibly an invitation entry.
Yeah, possibly, but we're not 100% sure on that as well. Back into the field where it is Palmer, who's completely cleared James Head, so something has happened between these two. We'll see if we can find it real quickly here for the most part. Oh, James Head must have had a very slow running out of the 4th section of the circuit, but he's 7
Elliott's back up in the 3rd place.
Elliott's going to be really on it here, and Elliott's going to have to think about making a move down to the inside of James Head. These two absolutely close friends and frenemies, I should say. Friends, frenemies, and in between. Elliott's going to think about making a move of some sort if he wants to try and stay within close contention of the championship. If Elliott can get a race win here today, that would be absolutely crucial for his championship stake. He's completely touching the back bumper of the number 7 Mazda.
He's really trying to get around that number 7 car right now because James Head's trying to defend his position really hard now. Ryrod
dives onto the inside. Oh, has he got it done? No, nothing doing there yet.
Just about forced him off in the grass right there. Elliott's going to
in the gravel trap, but the slipstream of the Mazda is going to pull them right back to each other. So not a lot of time lost, but at the same time, it's allowing TGIS to slowly but surely catch back on up for the most part.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. We're going to really anticipate.
We'll go on board now with Rara, and you can just start to see now, even from the 4th place Mazda's point of view, these cars are starting to get a little bit separated and just starting to get a train going here. So you might want to start to think about seeing if you're going to wait, keep the pressure up, see if someone's going to make a mistake for the most part. So we're going to just have to wait and see what goes on between these top 4 here. Oh, Elliott getting a bit sideways, and I think he's going to lose a bit of time. He's going to have to start defending from the number 270. Ryrod's going to show the flasher. I'm not sure why you would key that. Oh, just right on the limit of just trying to get the amount of grip. Elliott almost going a bit wide there. And then we'll go back up to the front of the field where Palmer still leads after 9 laps of racing here. 13.5-ish minutes to go, just under. It is Palmer up in front. Ryrod goes in the gravel trap.
Oh, Ryrod.
Oh, Ryrod's going to be just close stuff. We'll take a look at that once again. Yeah, he just caught a bit
too hard.
Either carried a bit too much speed or just simply understeered off. Oh, Palmer going a bit wide out of turn number 4. Or 3, three or 4? He's got that little left-hand cane thing. That does the next turn. I don't know why.
Birthday boy.
Yeah, Palmer now, the birthday boy, like you said. Wouldn't he love it to come out here as Straight Line Motorsports MX5 Cup Championship as well? That would be an absolutely amazing birthday gift for him here today.
Yes, it would. The driver turned 15 today. Probably the Yeah, probably the youngest driver in the entire grid right now. He's really showing these gentlemen how he does it.
I hate to say it right now, but I think because of that one incident that Ryrod got too deep into the gravel trap, I think he's just lost so much time. He's now about 2.2 seconds off of the third place car, and another 3.5 seconds behind. And I think he's just overdriving the car at this rate. So I think he knows it's just not working out for him right now. Yeah, Ryrod did a good job early on in the most part, so I think for now he's just got to keep his head cool and see if he can try and conclude the season on a high. So we'll wait and see if he's able to come back drive that 270 Mazda up to the front of the field. Frick.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse us, ladies and gentlemen.
Use the technicality.
It's a technical error once again with my Razer keyboard here. So Palmer still leads the way over James Head and Elliott F64. Elliott knows he has to beat these two drivers if he wants any form of staying in mathematical hunt of the championship.
I think Elliott just went a little wide there.
I think going a bit wide. We'll take a look at that again real quickly. Oh yeah, definitely a bit wide for the most part. He's going a bit wide out of the gravel trap. Not sure for the most part, but he's still trying to keep up with him close range. These three guys now just really separated with each other right now, because I think it's just starting to get to a rhythm part, and it's going to start getting to the part in the race now where everything's just kind of settled out between the top three guys. And of course, you just try to stay as close to the leaders as you can. So
we got 10 minutes of racing left here, so I think we're going to see.
James Head with a bit of a scare.
Pushing the real estate a little bit on that Mazda right there.
So we'll take a look back at James Head's point of view, and we'll see if he got a bit too much into the gravel trap. Oh yeah, just took a bit too much curving, and it forced him a bit too wide. Oh, and Palmer, I think, has just lost a bit of time somewhere. So what happened to Palmer all of a sudden? Did we take a bit too much going into... Oh, big side with the car just stepping out on him big time.
Oh, man.
And James said, here we go.
Now it's going to get
Now it's going to get saucy.
Oh, man, just when we were talking about the gaps between these cars, man, like we said earlier, the gaps can change so dramatically.
Yeah, and I don't think Palmer was at fault for any of that. I think the car just simply stepped out on him for the most part. And so now, all of a sudden, pretty much that near 1 second gap is just all of a sudden a 3/10 gap. And like I said, these two just back up on each other's rear bumper once again.
These two drivers have just put on a show for everybody here at the Brands House. So we want to thank all of our personnel, track workers, safety workers, and everybody else involved in this organization at the Straight Line Motorsport League, and all of our talented young drivers here today at the Straight Line Motorsport. We put on an awesome show for all these fans.
We gotta think this through a little bit. I don't mind being that guy. I'm gonna be that guy for a little bit. But if you're one of those fans of James Head, for example, you gotta think about the season that he's really been through. It looked like he was going to have a good showing in GT3, but he's only had one podium all season long in that championship, which just kind of sucks. But it came at Bathurst, so he looked very strong there. And then the Mazdas, it wasn't really going his way at the beginning of the season. And then once you get to the midway part of the season, he's just really taken off, win after win, just, sweeping the weekends for the most part. Even that wet weather weekend at Red Bull Ring, where he's just absolutely put on a show. And he's just really come to life late in this championship, where he's just taking the championship lead by, I'd say, pretty much either last race week, either 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. And pretty much, like I said, it's just James Head's really turned his racecraft here around in this championship, and you could really see him have a good chance of walking out here as 2019-2020 Mazda MX5 Cup Championship winner, or champion, of course.
But there's only one man who could deny it at this rate, because Elliott, he's behind both of them, and he's still third in the championship, so we're going to see if these guys' championship hopes still alive after the end of this race.
Yeah, that's the issue. Elliott has to beat these two to remain in championship contention here, but as it stands right now, with only 7.5 minutes to go, Elliott is going to have to absolutely turn up the wick to 120%. because Palmer now, as it stands right now, Palmer would be the only one to challenge James Head for that MX5 Cup Championship.
And we're going to see that here for this latter half of this race and the next race here.
Yeah, Palmer getting a bit of clean air for the most part. The gap now starting to come down just a tad. What's the gap now between James Head and Elliott? 2.1 seconds the gap now. So that's how far back Elliott is to James Head. So that's not good news right there if you're the number 64 of Elliott F64.
I think the biggest thing that's been holding Elliott back as well was that penalty that he got early in the race here. So he's been just trying to slowly clear that penalty off. But for the most part, he's been relatively clean this whole race, except for that wide incidences on track.
And so, like I said, Palmer still leading the way with just about 6.5 minutes to go. James Head, just getting a bit too much onto the grass, getting a bit of a slight sideways moment, but still keeping it well together for the most part. And like you said earlier, Viper, these two have just put on an absolutely amazing show for all of us to watch and for me and you to commentate on late in the season. And I think right now it's just there's no other way to do it. You just have to go as hard as you can, aggressive as you can, completely getting your wheels as close as you can to the gravel trap, and just keeping that momentum high and center for the most part.
Yeah, this is what fighting for a championship is all about. You got two guys separated by a mere 3 points in the championship. With James Head out.
It's about 12 points.
12 points in the championship now with James Head in front. But Palmer, man, he's not going down without a fight. And 15-year-old birthday boy, he is really taking the fight to James Head here in that 24 class there.
And it's also crucial to point out that if someone can get a fastest lap point at the moment, that would be beneficial for them, because that would mean that would get them an additional bonus point for the championship. So Elliott right now occupies that bonus point, but considering the fact that he's third place behind James Head and Palmer, that wouldn't be enough. He has to beat James Head and Palmer, like I said. And with 5 minutes to go left in this race, it's looking more and more seemingly unlikely. At the moment, it's now 4 seconds right now between himself and James Head. So I think Elliott's championship hopes now are just slowly going away out of his reach right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Elliott, thought he had a good shot at coming in. Fastest drivers on the track, and the race just didn't go the way he wanted to. So I think he knows that his championship hopes are done. So I think he's just going to try and push a little bit harder to try and go ahead and get a race win next race.
Palmer on the inside now. He's starting defending from James Head. He looked like he was on a purple sector now, so fastest out of anybody out of sector number 4. And I think if he can keep it well together, he might be looking at to sneak the fastest lap of the day. Nothing doing there as of yet. James Head on the outside. And with about 4 minutes to go, and he's forced a fake! What a fake by James Head!
Palmer went in way too deep. That was the mistake that James Head needed right there to get on by Palmer. Oh man, that was incredible by Palmer.
Let's see the mistake by Palmer. I think he just took a bit too much, and just fine threads between those two guys. What an overtake that was right there.
That was the mistake
by James Head.
That was the mistake James Head needed right there. That was what he needed Palmer to do, was go ahead, get in the brakes a little bit harder than normal.
Palmer always losing a bit of time, which he cannot afford for the most part.
We've got 3 minutes, about possibly 2 laps to go.
Yeah, looking like 2 or 3 laps to go for the most part. And this is going to be absolutely dicey to the end, like we said. And Palmer's out. Is going to have to do the heavy work and try and force a mistake out of James Head if he can. And if you're Palmer and if you're James Head does not easily crack under pressure.
No, he doesn't.
But he's going to!
James Head's gone wide in the gravel trap. Oh man!
Oh my goodness me! We'll go on board now with the number 7, but that was a massive scare.
Just took
understeer completely off. Well saved and executed, but still ahead. That could have been a lot worse for the number 7.
So now we're going to possibly see Palmer return the favor here into turn 1 here, possibly, but still 0.4 of a second back on the 1-7 miles right here.
And you know the crazy thing about this, it's like I'm raising my voice already like it's going to be the end of the championship. We still have 1 more race to go, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not all over yet.
So we're going to have 2 more laps here in this race here, and these two are not this is only the start of it here. We're going to see some more exciting racing here in the start of the second race.
Oh, James Head's gone a bit wide. Palmer now going to look to the inside. He's going to be later on the brakes. James Head's going to try and cover it off, which he does. Palmer now still having to wait behind. I think these two are going to get this lap and one more. So it is going to be absolutely close between these two. 2/10 to go. The difference between these two drivers.
Ryra's caught back up to Elliott as well, and so is TGIS. So we're going to see possibly a 3-car scrap for the final spot on the podium.
While that battle still unfolds, we still have this lead battle going on between James Head and Palmer, which could make or break Palmer's championship charge here. He's got to try and force a mistake out of James Head. James Head goes defensive onto the inside.
Oh,
he's going to force Palmer. He's going to force Palmer a bit wide.
Bump there.
Create the separation between those two. And so now James Head, Palmer, a bit too much. Oh, I think Palmer got his wheel on the gravel, but I think he was just on the absolute limit right there. 5/10 to go. Oh, James Head, that might be a penalty. And it is! And that's a penalty for corner cutting!
Oh, 5 seconds of a penalty. So now Palmer has to get within 5/10 of a second here. James Head cannot afford to make a mistake.
And he's going to slow it down and serve it. So this is absolutely crucial for the championship.
We're going to round the last corner to see the white flag this time by, and I think we're going to see a very interesting battle here between these two drivers.
Oh my God! And when you just thought it was all over, it's just not.
Oh my goodness gracious! That was the mistake that Palmer needed now to get on by James Head now here. So now James Head's going to try and do the charge here, try and get back up to Palmer now.
On board now with the number 8 defensive to the inside. Nothing doing there as of yet.
Palmer's have to do everything in the power of the book, but now
he's trying to force it to get out the outside, considering the tire wear is.
Not going to work this time.
Yeah, not going to work this time. Just these two absolutely this is going to be an absolutely entertaining podium interview.
And Ryra's gone up to 3rd place.
Yeah, Ryra's gone up to 3rd place. I think Elliott is just done. I think he's well out of the championship hunt for the most part. Palmer still leading the way. We're going to continue to follow this championship battle, this race and championship battle all the way to the end. And this is going to be absolutely dicey going up to the final spot of the race. Hair Raiser and below going to come through. Galaglass as well going to end the race. McGeedy's also going to end it as well. McGeedy's got to get out of the way.
Lap traffic.
Oh, lap traffic. This is going to be absolutely.
The 5 car is going to hold him up.
Oh, he's got to get by him. Okay, so he does.
Okay.
All right, so James Head getting on by as well. So that lap traffic not going to get in the way.
Oh, here comes James Head.
This is going to be it right here. Just a couple more corners to go. Who's going to make the big mistake? Palmer getting a bit loose on mid to exit of the corner. 2/10 to good. And Palmer, one more corner to go. And I think Palmer is just going to be able to do it, and it is going to come down to the final round of the season. SLM Palmer has got some life in the championship. SLM Palmer will win the penultimate round of the MX5 Cup Championship.
Wow, what a fight those two brought up. McGeedy's, I can't say his last name.
McGeedy's comes home for 10th
place here. And
Ryra comes home for 3rd. Elliott, a penalty at the line, will come home for 4th. TGIS getting a top 5 finish here today. Doug Barrow and Barr, these two actually still battling it out for 6th place. Also to mention, James Head coming home for 2nd place as well. To the end of that scrap. Doug Barrow going to hold on for 6th place. And Barr will come home for 7th place as well. But SLM Palmer is going to take this championship charge right to the end of the season. What a race that was.
That was an incredible fight.
Oh, that was great.
Between these two drivers. That was a win that Palmer needed right there.
He absolutely needed it. Happy birthday to SLM Palmer. Can he turn this another win into a championship win?
We're seeing some on-track right now. So, anyway, with that said, that was probably one of the most incredible races of the MX5.
That was absolutely that was entertaining for the most part.
Awesome.
That was great stuff.
an amazing battle between those two drivers here. Made some mistakes were made, but like we said, that was just incredible.
Yeah, you cannot say anyone did anything wrong right there for the most part. I think with that cut right at the end there, I think James could have just extended that championship charge right there. But of course, I think that little minute penalty right there just really cost him in the end right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Both of them made mistakes. Like that turn one late break by Palmer that thought it cost him big time. But then James Head gets a corner cut penalty on the second to last lap, and that cost him big time.
Yeah, so that was absolutely entertaining right there. We do have one of our podium interviewers in the commentary box in the hands of Ryra. So Ryra, another good day for you in the MX5 Cup Championship. Tell us about your race today. Ooh, interesting. And so another day, potentially a DQ for Uriah, but of course, at the moment you stand P3, but I guess we'll take a look at that after everything is settled and done. And we'll move on to our second place man, James Head. Oh my God, James Head, you have to absolutely be on your toes after that one right there. Tell us about your race so far.
That's the best race I think I've driven this season, and credit to Palmer where credit's due. He was actually quite nervous, I think, within the party, and honestly, full credit for him to the win. He drove his socks off, quite literally, and I'm sure his mum would be proud because she was watching on as well. I have to get a shout out in there.
Yeah. So, of course, it looked like you were set to take home a really, probably an important race win there, but of course, right at the second to last lap there, you cut that one corner, just gave you a 5/10 penalty. Was there anything you possibly could have done differently in that situation?
Took the corner about 2 miles an hour slower, and then I wouldn't have got the penalty. It's as simple as that. Obviously, that corner cut did do me in, and I think with my tactics as well, actually serving up the penalty and giving Palmer the lead of the race is a bit unfortunate, I think, but I thought it was the right thing to do, and I knew I was going to have the pace on the final lap and almost got him. But I do believe 7 points separate us going into the final race of the season. It couldn't be closer.
Well, I'll tell you what, that, especially from me and Viper here watching that race, that was absolutely some fine stuff between you two. But of course, this is going to come down, like I said, to the finale of the championship. Viper, you got any questions for James Head?
Just an incredible race. You drove the drive, you talked the talk, just incredible racecraft from you and Palmer. We were just screaming at that battle the whole time. You guys probably weren't even a second apart from each other the whole race. It was just incredible to watch in the commentary box.
And so, yeah, like I said, James said, just absolutely fine stuff between you and Palmer as well. And speaking of which, we'll move on to our race one winner of the weekend. First of all, Palmer, happy birthday, bud. I'm pretty sure this is a very exciting, but I'm pretty sure this is a very good birthday gift for you, of course.
Yeah, definitely. The birthday luck came into play there. With my mum watching as well, because of course I was quite nervous, and I think my mum was
James
watching.
You were correct, just saying.
I think my mum was in and out of watching. It has happened to me. So I'm very happy to take this, and I completely agree with James. That was the best race of the season by far. and also just qualifying, to have that gap of less.
Oh yeah, two thousandths of a second. We completely forgot about that as we were watching.
Thanks, Carl, for that one.
But that last lap gasp from James Head, that was just incredible. But Palmer, you never stopped. You never quit at that fight. I got to give you a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, when I did get past James, he was halfway through the race. I instantly started making a lot of mistakes. I got out of the groove, and then I just felt like as soon as I was behind James, I just got in the groove again. And yeah, I guess it's just following his lines and that, and in the end, it paid off.
Yeah, so I'm getting championship points here at the moment, so I think James Head with 363 gets plus 18 for the most part, 381. So James Head with 381, and then Polymer, you have 349, and you get a full 25 points here. So with 381, so the championship now, James Head, you still lead it just by 7 points now. So Polymer, you're only 7 points behind. And you know what? There is the possibility, if the results stand as they are, we could go to a tie, and possibly it could go down to possibly race wins of the season. So
I think Palmer might have 8 race wins if he was to win the second race. So
let's take a look here.
A tiebreak.
Yeah, let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. James said you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. James said you would have that at the moment. So at the moment, things are looking extremely close here for the finale of the season, like I said.
Absolutely. I think you're going to see possibly an even better race than from what happened on track now. So.
Yeah, so we also have another fellow competitor in the hands of Elliot. Of course, Elliot, welcome to the party as well. Of course, I'm getting word that Ryra was DQ'd from the race, so it looks like you're saying that you're P3. Tell us about the situation that's going on right now.
Yeah, no, it was a good race up until that. Tice got a really good run out of the final corner, went round the both of us. And then Raya decided to launch it down the inside. I've then had to take avoiding action. I've gone wide, and then he's driven into the side of Tice, kept his foot in. Tice has spun out, and Raya just kind of drove away from the incident without giving the places back. So, following on from what's happened in previous races, I think this is the right decision to make for the next race and for that race, I think.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll make any verdict after the race, like I said. But ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy today's race, you will get our final round of the season up on YouTube. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like, leave a comment, and if you're so inclined in viewing our races, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will launch our Ferrari World Challenge Series as our next main championship. But ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy today's race, I've been the host and commentator for today's race, S1_RZ with SD Viper, and we'll see you guys real shortly for the season finale.